babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight.
Don't say I didn't warn y'all. Tonight I have some really good news for you guys. Well, not really too good because these are dark, evil secrets that have never been exposed. But I mean, it's good for you guys because you got something to watch while you eat your food, or, you know, you just relax for the day. But this is just a warning to you guys. These videos are going to change your reality and you may not be the same after you watch this. And I don't want to hear anyone in the comments talking about Sean, these videos are not even scary. Just wait till the end of the video. I have something for you. What's even scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 60% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos. Thank you.
So pop star Rihanna is in the Epstein files. Not only that, but she called Epstein and left a missed call. He never called her back. And in an email, they're talking about a Rihanna video in April of 2016, sorry. And here's the other file that shows that she called. I don't know if it's really her or not, but, you know, they're talking about they have a video of Rihanna. I wonder what the video could be that she's calling and trying to see, because this isn't the only missed call that she left. I don't know if that's the same missed call or not, but this is another screenshot showing a Rihanna missed call. It's probably the same one, but I wonder what she did. I wonder what video they have of her.
It's just crazy to me how there were people just casually calling Jeffrey Epstein as if he's just like a friend. This dude's literally running one of the craziest worldwide scandals to ever happen. And bro just casually calls him up like, oh, hey Jeff, how you doing? Like, bro, no.
Okay, next up, Bill Gates, a very interesting one because not only was he named in these Epstein files, but last night he even responded because of how viral these claims have gone. Now, there are two emails from 2013, which interestingly were sent from Epstein to himself, not Bill Gates. And the reason for that might be even more interesting than the emails themselves, because it appears these emails might be Epstein writing this email for someone else for them to send to Bill Gates. I mean, if you look at the first email, it's super long, it has spelling and grammar mistakes, and it's written almost like just a rant. But the second email, which was again sent from Epstein to himself, looks almost like a summarized, cleaner version, and it was written only hours later. Now, neither of the emails were signed off like you usually would do in an email, like from Jeffrey, for example. And the contents of the email don't really match up with it being Epstein. For example, the emails complained about Bill ending their friendship, firing him from a job and asking for things like 2 years severance, and even talking about an investment contract they had together worth $100 million. But the part that went super viral online is at the end where it talks about Bill Gates previously asking this person to get him antibiotics so that he could discreetly give it to Melinda, his wife at the time, because he had contracted STDs from, quote, Russian girls. So the even bigger question here is, was Epstein writing this as a draft for someone else? And if so, why would this person ask Epstein specifically to write this? Did Epstein include any information in this? And was this information ever ultimately used as blackmail against Bill Gates? A spokesperson for Gates told the BBC these claims are from a proven, disgruntled liar and are absolutely and completely false. These are all the other names that I'm going to be covering in today's video, so make sure you follow so you don't miss them.
Another newly released Justice Department document includes a claim that Donald Trump flew on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet in the 1990s on a flight where the only other listed passenger other than Trump and Epstein was a then 20-year-old woman. The allegation appears in a 2020 email from a senior federal prosecutor at the Southern District of New York. It surfaced in this latest document dump related to the Epstein files. And according to this email, which we're going to look at in a moment, flight records show Trump traveled on Epstein's plane many more times than previously reported, including during the period that prosecutors were specifically looking at to say who needs to be charged here, what exactly do we need to charge Ghislaine Maxwell with. And there is a 1993 flight that is particularly notable. The email says the passenger manifest lists 3 people: Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and an as of now unnamed 20-year-old woman. Now, on other flights, the record suggests that women who later would have been potential witnesses in the Ghislaine Maxwell case were also on board the plane. Now, to be clear, and I've been, if nothing else, I've been extremely cautious here. The documents do not state that the 20-year-old that Trump flew with was the victim of a crime. And being named in an Epstein-related file does not itself establish criminal wrongdoing. I've made that clear just about every time we talk about this. But we have to acknowledge that this disclosure does directly contradict years of Trump minimizing his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He flew alone with Epstein and a 20-year-old. That is not, I bumped into him and 150 other people at a fundraising event. And the context really matters here, because Maxwell was later convicted after the death of Jeffrey Epstein and sentenced to 20 years in prison for helping to recruit and abuse underage girls. A 20-year-old is not underage, but it is a very young woman flying alone with Trump and Epstein. What would be the circumstances of that is very weird. Now, it could completely be the case that even if this 20-year-old was subsequently a victim, which we do not have the evidence to say right now, that this 20-year-old was victimized only by Epstein and not Donald Trump. So to be clear, I am not alleging that this 20-year-old was a victim at all or a victim of Trump. But Trump flying alone with her and Epstein suggests a much closer relationship than Trump has acknowledged.
An experiment gave a homeless man $100,000 to see if it would change his life for better or make it worse. Ted was a lucky recipient. He had been homeless for decades and lived under a bridge, but he was drug-free and psychologically sound. He just seemed like a man who had been dealt a bad hand in life. They gave him the money, no strings attached. The only requirement was that a film crew could document everything. They gave him access to a financial planner, which Ted could use if he wanted. The first thing Ted did was rent a motel room, but he found the bed uncomfortable and slept on the floor. He eventually found an apartment, and word of his luck spread fast. Friends in the homeless community asked for help, and he helped. Women started flocking to him, and he got a girlfriend who he bought a car for. Ted was convinced the $100,000 was enough to last him a lifetime, but eventually he became paranoid about people using him. He even convinced himself his financial planner was just after his money, so he cut ties with him. Within 6 months, Ted had spent all of his money. His girlfriend broke up with him, all the friends he helped abandoned him, and he was back on the streets recycling for $20 a day.
I mean, this just shows you wealth is not about the money that you have. It's about your mindset. You know, obviously money's involved with wealth, but if you don't have a good mindset behind it, this money will not last you. So
they tell you that Honey Nut Cheerios is heart healthy, but what if the labels do more work than the food? Let's actually look what's inside the bowl. You see the word honey on the box and you think it's natural, right? But flip it over. It's stacked sweeteners, sugars, brown sugar syrup, then the honey. Is your insulin ready for breakfast or what? Most of the sweetness is not honey, fam. It's refined sugars and additives. But you don't care, right? It's got the check mark on it, so you're good. And that shit is not just sugar either. They coat every little ring with canola oil. It's seed oil. Seed oils equal inflammation, period. And then there's the oats. You think it's whole oats, right? Nah. They process flour, strip it down, and redefine it. They take the natural out and add the chemistry in. So you're eating math at this point. It's the scary part that no one's talking about. High heat process can equal acrylamide, a compound that's linked with cancer. So ask yourself this: how is this shit healthy? Is sugar, oils, redefined grains in disguise, wearing a heart healthy costume. But hey, you still gonna eat that shit anyway.
Fuck wrong with him? Jay-Z, you did this? What? Reportedly left the U.S. to a disclosed destination. What? That don't even look like Jay. Bro looking like a damn tarantula. Oh my goodness. Bro is changing his identity, bro. I mean, word up. Hov, you did this? They said you was in them Epstein files, bro. I don't know how Beyonce feel about that shit. That's some wild ass shit. Come on, bro. You could have did a Camel commercial. You ain't have to do this. Damn, they done stressed my boy the fuck out. He done lost about 12 dreads on top of his goddamn head. You might as well just go bald, nigga. Don't do this. Ho! What? This gotta be capped. This can't be real. I don't think this is true information. I'm putting that on camera.
I know some of you guys don't like when I repeat jokes, but for the third time, bro, I have to say it. Why is Jay-Z's nose that big? And yes, it is that serious to make this joke again. If you're trapped in a room with Jay-Z, his nose is literally a vacuum for oxygen. You're gonna run out of air very shortly. So make sure you bring backup oxygen tanks if you ever are hanging out with Jay-Z. I don't know why you'd be hanging out with Jay-Z though, but
there was an anonymous letter sent out the year that he supposedly unalived himself. And everybody sitting here shocked like, this is true? Whoever thought this man really unalived himself is stupid. It don't take no rocket scientist to know that that man had connect that can get him out. So people reading this and they're shocked like, this is crazy, bruh. It's not crazy at all. Too much shit didn't add up. The guards that night didn't add up. The camera that night didn't add up. Nothing added up. Even the little photo that they said was him, unalived, didn't look like him. Nothing added up.
Late at night, a woman was scrolling through her phone when, without warning, her entire body went numb. Frozen with fear, she called out in a shaky voice, waking her husband. He immediately called emergency services. She was rushed to the hospital. The doctor asked if she worked night shifts. Her husband said no, but mentioned that she often stayed awake past 3 a.m. The doctor's face turned serious. At first, they suspected a stroke, but after a full examination, they found something even worse, an aneurysm. The doctor explained that both conditions were most likely caused by chronic sleep deprivation. He told the husband to prepare for the worst. The man collapsed to the floor, unable to cope with the news. So ask yourself this: are you still staying up all night glued to your screen, believing it won't catch up to you? If you want more stories like this, subscribe and don't forget to follow.
There's a theory that some memories don't belong to the person remembering them. The idea is that very rarely, someone remembers something that never happened to them, but the memory feels complete, detailed, emotional, personal, like it's their own memory. And the people who experience it all say the same thing. It feels older than them. One guy said he has a clear memory of standing in a kitchen he's never been in. Yellow walls, a ticking clock, someone cooking behind him. He can smell the food. His family swears the place doesn't exist, but he remembers the feeling of being safe there. He says it feels like losing a home he never had. Another woman says she remembers crying at a funeral for a man she never met. She remembers the suit he wore, the sound of the room, the way her chest hurt. And she even later found an old photo of her grandfather's brother. The man in her memory looked exactly like it, but the funeral happened years before she was born. And another person said they remember drowning, cold water, panic, hands reaching, but they've never almost drowned. But the fear still hits sometimes, like their body remembers something their life never included. People who believe this theory don't think the brain makes these memories up. They think memories can linger, detach, and attach to someone else. As always, stay weird.
Morbid Facts, Part 889. This is the face of 87-year-old World War II veteran and daylily horticulturist Leo Sharp, who was pulled over in Michigan in 2011 after appearing confused and disoriented. A search of his vehicle uncovered more than 400 pounds of revealing that he'd secretly spent years working as a high-level courier for Mexico's Sinaloa cartel. Because he looked so harmless and was rarely questioned, Sharp transported massive quantities of cocaine across the U.S. before being caught. He later pleaded guilty to drug trafficking charges and was sentenced to prison in his late 80s, becoming one of the oldest cartel mules ever prosecuted. In 1951, the French town of Pont-Saint-Esprit was hit by a sudden outbreak of severe illness after residents ate bread from a local bakery. Around 250 people experienced intense hallucinations, convulsions, and severe paranoia, with some reporting visions of snakes crawling out of their bodies or being consumed by flames. Several victims windows or ran screaming through the streets, while others were restrained or sedated as hospitals quickly filled beyond capacity. At least 5 people and dozens were committed to psychiatric institutions. Investigators later concluded the outbreak was most likely caused by ergot poisoning, a toxic fungus that can contaminate rye and produce effects similar to LSD, which many historians have also theorized may have contributed to the Salem witch trials.
Honestly, this is probably one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. Imagine trying to enjoy your breakfast on a nice Sunday morning and then all of a sudden you just start hallucinating after eating your sandwich and it's just over for you.
Kardashian decided to take a picture acting like she was Eve in the Garden of biting the forbidden fruit which caused humanity to fall. However, she's trying to make that event sexy. Boy, oh boy, you can't make this up. My brothers and sisters, do you know how perverted that is? To try to make the fall of humanity, to try to make the very first sin sexy. And she probably doesn't even know what she's doing. She's probably just a puppet. Money is their god. Money is a lot of these celebrities' gods. That's why it's dangerous for you to continue following them. That's why it's dangerous for them to be a role model for you, because they will have you deceived and in deception chasing money, chasing them who have money for their god. My brothers and sisters, stop following these people. They are symbols for lust. They are symbols for sexual morality. It's time to come back into a pure state of mind. It's time to come back into a godly state of mind. My sisters, daughters of God, beautiful queens, do not, I repeat, do not look up to the Kardashians. God bless.
So apparently a Wendy's employee admitted that he's been in the chili for over 2 years. I already told y'all there was something up with that chili. Y'all gonna fuck around and get worms eating this shit. You wondering why the meat was extra chunky and nutty? Whole time the employee's been defecating in your shit.
Dude, this is actually happening right now. It just got so cold in Florida that iguanas are literally falling out of the trees by the hundreds. Over 1,000 iguanas alone were collected in a single day yesterday, and the state is basically just telling people to go out and grab them. This is now officially the lowest February temperature in over 100 years for Florida, and whenever it gets that cold, they're saying that something a little bit insane happens. Iguanas, the lizards obviously, are cold-blooded, so whenever temperatures drop below 50 degrees, they start shutting down. And then whenever temperatures are below 40 degrees, they actually freeze up and they just fall. And they're obviously in the trees because they're lizards, so they fall down. Dude, this weekend alone, it happened absolutely everywhere. There are videos all over the place of iguanas just being laid out on the ground. The Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission collected over 1,000 green iguanas in one day. One guy alone grabbed over 100 pounds of iguanas in 45 minutes. Of course, this is happening in Florida right now, but people are literally just walking around and picking them up left and right. And by the way, the entire state of Florida just waived the permit requirement so anybody can go collect them. Green iguanas are invasive in Florida, so officials are encouraging people to turn them in. Can you just picture that for a minute? Walking outside in Florida and iguanas are just raining from the trees? It's 2026.
So Nicki Minaj stirred up a pot last night. She started calling Jay-Z out for satanic, ritualistic things. Oh, it got real. Let's just read some of the things she said. Are y'all understanding that these people have been sacrificing as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democrat again, you're just as soulless as they are and will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story times, since I was trying to not say what I know, yet they continue to attempt bullying. Guys, it gets no more blatant than that. But in case you still don't know what she was saying, let's go to another tweet. She put, your favorite artist, so not just Jay-Z, your favorite artist, has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take from other countries and unalive them as a form of sacrifice to their God. My Lord. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed. However, the jig is up. Guys, do you know how wicked this is? Not only that, but this is stuff that many of us have known for years. And the world called us crazy. Now somebody who was fully in the world, coming out of the world, is exposing it. Oh, it looks a little different now, don't it? We've been talking about this since Jay-Z wore a sweater with the #1 satanic commandment on it. Do what thou wilt. Do what you want. We've been talking about this since Jay-Z's song, State of Empire, where he said, Hail Mary to the city, you're a virgin, and Jesus can't save you. This is his lyrics. Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church ends. Jay-Z said that. He put it in a song so you couldn't even really hear it. How many of us were in the world singing the State of Empire? New York! One of the biggest songs in New York, and this was in the doggone 3rd verse. Can you believe that? A mainstream song where a rapper said Jesus can't save you in it. Nobody heard that before, though, have they? No, not until we started speaking up about it. So he wore a sweater with the #1 satanic commandment on it. He has a verse where he says Jesus can't save you. Let's not get into his other verses. We got a song called Family Feud where he says he told his wife the spiritual stuff really works. Well, if he's saying Jesus can't save you, and then in another song he says the spiritual stuff really works, what spiritual stuff do you think he's talking about? It's not rocket science, people. There's also a picture of him in the Masonic Lounge. Heck, we've been talking about this since he made a video with Marina Abramovic. And don't get me started on Marina Abramovic with her spirit cooking where she wipes it all on the wall. Making different words with. I mean, this video might get banned off these social platforms because we're getting too real right now. I told y'all this man's empire was going to fall. He should have kept the Lord's name out of his mouth. He has a whole website called the Book of Hove, ladies and gentlemen, where he talks about his name, Hova, is a play on Jehovah. That's why he goes by Jehovah. Allow him to reintroduce himself. I mean, at some point, even people who like Jay-Z have to come into an understanding, because either you like him or you're on God's side. You're on his side or you're on God's side, because he sure isn't on God's side. And sad thing is, he took his wife from being on God's side, because we all know Beyonce used to be a Christian. She sung in the church. Nowadays, she's doing witch rituals, different sacrifices to Oshun. Oh, you think we can't see it? Oh, you think we dumb, deaf, and out of our mind, brainwashed? Is that what you're thinking? Oh, no. All your times are coming to an end. And I don't just mean dying. I mean being exposed. The witches, the warlocks, all of your times are coming to an end. You will be exposed. The truth about you will be shown to the world. At that point, they'll make up their own decision, whether it be on your side or be on God's side. Because that's exactly what it's going to be. Positive or negative. How much are people actually worshiping y'all till when it comes out to be true who you actually are is going to stay with you? Or may you repent and come home. We will see.
Honestly, at this point, you cannot give him the benefit of the doubt. He worships evil. He hangs out with people that are evil. He is not a person of peace. He is a person that will try to take your niece. So please keep Jay-Z just far away from humanity.
Nicki Minaj is on Twitter right now exposing the whole industry, saying that your favorite artists are in satanic cults, taking from other countries and for sacrifices to their god. We already know what the Bohemian Grove was. Then she made another post calling out Jay-Z for dating at the age of 30, and yes, he has. She also said that Chrissy Teigen used to have a schlong. Share this video with everyone before it gets taken down. And let's not forget about Chrissy Teigen's weird tweets from back in the day.
Beyonce is becoming the most unfollowed person of 2026 because of Jay-Z. So recently, 3 million e-files dropped. And in those files, we have the usual suspects that we already knew were in there. But recently, it was discovered that Jay-Z is also in there. Now, Beyonce fans were not happy when they heard this at all, and they decided to lash out against their queen. Beyonce is always letting that man bring her down, I swear. Now, they're doing this by mass unfollowing Beyonce on IG. She used to be at 310 mil. She's currently at 308, and her numbers on her socials are all in the red, negative.
The babies we eat, she is on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight, the babies we eat.
I don't know about you. Did you hear what the Taking of Deborah Logan just said? When somebody tell you who you are, you better believe them.
What's that? Oh, it was just announced that ham is considered a class 1 carcinogen and is on the same level as that of cigarettes. Tell me more! Yeah, this is crazy. They just announced that ham is a class 1 carcinogen and it is actually incredibly bad for you, and it's equivalent realistically to having 1 cigarette if you have 1 to 2 slices of ham. Okay. This is super interesting because many people eat ham on the daily, and many people have considered ham to be somewhat of a healthy option, but all along they were incorrect. Okay. So this begs the question of, if you go to the doctor and you're getting checked out, are they going to ask you on the same level of how many cigarettes a day do you have, or how many pieces of ham a day do you have, because it's not looking good for you, buddy. Also, what other foods may they talk about that may become on the same level as well? Oh, goody.
What really happened at the Grammys? Because people are saying that this looks like a portal. A portal to where?
Because I don't believe this is a portal. This is art, all right? Shh, shut up! I mean, all of our favorite people was there. Billie Eilish. They're having such a wonderful time. Somebody invited me to this, and I'm not going to say no names, but you know I wasn't going. They even offered to cover hotel fees, and we all know what happens in those hotels. Can't forget about Bad Bunny. Yep. He was there, and he had a pretty good speech. I ain't going to hold you. Just HW having a good time, vibing. We know what this is about, guys. Shh, don't even say it. But what about Lady Gaga? What about her? She won an award. She's always winning because she's doing what she has to do to stay in the light of HW. Jelly Roll, or more like Swiss Roll, he was on the ball. He had a really interesting speech too. I don't know. He's giving me 50-50 vibes. But why did Justin Bieber show up like he was going to play basketball? Like he was at the gym? People are saying that this is an HR in plain sight. Who the hell is this? Huh? Who is this? You know who this is. They was having a marvelous time, and you wasn't invited. Can't forget about them dressing the same. Why is that? What's up with this? Pusha T, Malice, Pharrell, why are they all wearing the same suit? I mean, it all goes down at the Grammys, guys. This is where it happens at. Why does Lady Gaga look lighter than before? Something is up. Welcome to the Grammys. Yep. Welcome. You're welcome. Where the hell has he been at? Where has Q-Tip been at? He comes out of nowhere. Shh. Shut up. Not just playing, guys. Entertainment purposes only. I hope you've seen the Grammys. They put on a show. It was marvelous. Shout out to all the actors, singers, and celebrities in Hollywood. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. What's up with Justin Bieber, bro? Let me know. I'm out.
Bro, they need to leave Justin Bieber alone. He's been through enough. They got bro in his undies playing the guitar up on stage. Like, bro, just leave him alone, bro. Like, y'all sent him with Diddy. Now you got him doing this.
Many don't believe that Chaperone Grammy red carpet appearance was a humiliation ritual. Chaperone said the hardest part for her about the Grammys was the red carpet because people are filming, people are taking pictures. It's overstimulating for her.
This part is the hardest of the whole night. It's overstimulating. People are just filming you. You don't know what they're doing with it.
So if she is uncomfortable around people and people taking pictures and she don't like the filming, why do you think she would want to wear what she wore? Why do you think that she would want to expose herself in front of the film and in front of the cameras if she's already uncomfortable, if she's already overstimulated? That just goes to show that it wasn't her idea to expose herself. They exposed her and it was a humiliation ritual. That lady came and pulled the covering off of her to expose her. And that's why when it came off, she quickly put her arms up and tried to cover herself up. But now she have to play it off like, oh, it was all part of the plan. If she says that the hardest part about the Grammys for her was the red carpet, was them filming and the people with the cameras and the paparazzi, why do you think she would want to expose herself where she's uncomfortable? It was a humiliation ritual. Y'all got to pay attention. Wake up. Hollywood is demonic. Don't be deceived. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Seek God while you may still can, because time is running out. I love y'all. God bless y'all. All glory to God, and y'all already know Jesus Christ is Lord.
You gotta ask yourself, why are Princess Diana files sealed into 2082? If it was just a car accident, these files will already be public. Princess Diana died in 1997. That's almost 3 decades ago. And yet, key documents tied to her death are sealed into the year 2082. You heard what I just said? Key documents tied to her death are sealed into the year 2082. So now you gotta ask yourself, what did she see and what does she know? That's not 10 years. That's not 30 years. That's 85 years of silence. That means most people alive today will never see those files. Now you gotta say to yourself, that's not normal. That's not an accident. That's not how transparency works. Governments don't lock files that long unless what's inside them can cause a major problem. And I need you to jump down the rabbit hole. This is for entertainment purposes only. There are claims that Princess Diana believed that the powerful people around her were not what they appeared to be. Allegedly, she came across some information that these people were probably reptiles. And I'm gonna say this without saying it. She allegedly feared that certain elites weren't just corrupt. They were inhuman in behavior, cold, predatory. They were fundamentally different. if you understand what I mean. Now, you got to think about this. Diana wasn't some random woman with theories. She was inside the system. She had access. And if she believed something was wrong, like deeply wrong, that belief didn't come from the internet. That belief came from what she saw. And after she died, you saw the inconsistencies of witnesses. You saw destroyed cameras. They gave us sealed evidence, and they locked the truth away until 2082. Why is that? Pay attention.
Y'all have heard the saying, be the person your childhood self would be proud of. And I hope I am that person, but the older I get, the more I realize if everyone's using that logic, some people must believe that their childhood dream was to grow up and be a complete piece of shit. You know, I remember growing up watching movies where the bad guy was the warning. You weren't supposed to root for that guy. And now there's a whole chunk of the country treating the villain like a role model. You know, I take that back. Not even the country, the world. I know this is a conspiracy page, but maybe today's theory is just don't be a piece of shit.
What's that? Oh, more and more people are reporting the fact that they're actually able to hear the radio through their dental work fillings. Tell me more! Yeah, people started to hear the radio without them being near a radio or a radio being turned on by them, but they were hearing it internally. So after there were several of these reports, people started doing some investigating, and they figured out that it is coming from their fillings from their dental work. Okay. How does this work, you ask? Whoa, I'm glad you asked. Basically what happened is inside their mouth, it mimics the components of a crystal radio. Essentially, the human body is the antenna. The detector is the metal filling. This usually happens when the metal is oxidized, which creates a non-linear electrical response, which extracts the audio signal from the radio wave. The detected electrical signal causes a mechanical vibration, which then travels through the jawbone and into the inner ear, which then is interpreted as sound. Oh, goody!
The government of Japan has said that Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispies, Wheat Thins, and Honey Bunches of Oats are all contributing to cancer, and they will not allow these American foods into the country anymore. They have a potent toxin in them called BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene. This chemical is a flavor enhancer designed to make these processed foods actually tolerable when you eat them. But Japan has a different idea. Why don't we just use real food that actually tastes good? So while countries around the world ban American foods because of how toxic they are, we can still get them in our stores. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say hidden root causes. Be careful. Look for the letters BHT on the side of the box. If you see it, put it back on the shelf. Do not buy these foods.
Zohran Mamdani's mother was also named in the Epstein files on Friday, and because of that, claims are now going wild on X, suggesting that Epstein is Mamdani's biological father. Yeah, now, despite how ridiculous that is, considering when the email was sent in 2009, Mamdani would have been 18 years old, that hasn't stopped posts on X from going viral. In fact, one of them suggesting this has got nearly 15 million views. Now, the reference to Mamdani's mom, Myra Nair, in question is from an email sent to Epstein talking about an after party for a film which had attendees like Bill Clinton, Jeff Bezos, and the director of the film, Mamdani's mom. Yeah, Myra actually directed the 2009 biopic, Amelia, so I imagine it would make sense that the director goes to the after party. And in fact, from these emails, it's not even clear if Epstein himself ever went to the party in the first place. So yeah, wild day for information. These are the names that we still gotta go through.
You know, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Literally, look at bro's nose. They have the same exact nose.
So did you guys know that the CIA had an operation back in the 70s to overthrow Castro? But when you guys hear what they were going to do to overthrow Fidel Castro, you are going to be astonished. So the CIA was going to say that they were going to make Jesus appear in the skies of Havana. That was their plan, to make Jesus hologram-like appear in the skies of Havana in Cuba, something like this possibly, to make the Cubans overthrow Fidel Castro, to put it in their mind that they need to overthrow Fidel Castro. They were going to use that type of sorcery and witchcraft and deception in the 70s, which is the biggest part here. In the 70s, mind you, if they had the technology then to pull something off like that, what makes you think they don't have something even greater now, 55 years later, 56 years later? This world is a huge stage. It's like I don't think people understand that this whole world is just a big stage. It's all it is. We are all side characters watching it all play out. and just sometimes be in the audience. And this is their game. This is their show. They're making us participate in.
Jim Carrey just said something about Will Smith that no one in Hollywood was expecting him to reveal. Will Smith and Jada's fake relationship, humiliation rituals, and allegations of Jaden being abused are all coming to light, and Jim is exposing everyone involved. The directors and executives involved in helping Will and Jada cover up their crimes are finally being named. In this video, we're going to go through all the names Jim Carrey mentioned, all the way to the top.
I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies.
With more than 56 awards and 102 nominations, Jim is one of the greatest actors Hollywood has ever seen. But at the same time, no one hates the inner workings of Hollywood more than him. He saw firsthand just how bad the industry was, and he walked away. He realized how Hollywood was controlling people and forcing them to be someone else. In some of his more recent interviews, Jim called Hollywood and everyone involved in it completely meaningless.
Hey, Jim Carrey. Yes.
What?
I've covered a lot of fashion weeks. This is the first time I've run into Jim Carrey. Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
You got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons,
in
boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry, you're one of them.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part of the video. What made you tremble in your boots, and we're gonna be on to the next one. Thank you.